Washington studio again now tonight, and that story we covered earlier on. Just to recap for you, unmanned drone attacks on terror suspects employed much more during 2009 in Afghanistan and Pakistan. It's a strategy that's set to continue. An airstrike on Sunday killed 5 alleged militants. Many critics, for their part, are saying those drones have resulted in far too many civilian deaths, though, and that's the key thing to the critics. Well, let's go now to Washington. Hopefully our communication's working a bit better now. Christine Frizzow's there. Hi, Christine. Better late than never. Now, I know you've got with you tonight a guest who actually shares that view that too many civilians are being affected by what's happening here.
That's right, Kevin. My guest describes himself as a lifelong pacifist, and now he's working for an online publication, antiwar.com. Jason Ditz is his name. He's a news editor and recently wrote a piece about how these drones have killed more than 700 people in the last year. Jason, talk to me about your view on the drones and why you're pretty critical of their use.
Well, yes, there certainly are benefits to using drones instead of warplanes in that it doesn't put American pilots at risk. But the reality is that the intelligence that they use for these attacks are not always very reliable. It's a lot of second and third-hand reports from tribesmen. A lot of them are tribesmen that are in feuds with other tribesmen and sort of let America take care of their own internal struggles by calling them Taliban. And the vast majority of the people that are getting killed are apparent civilians that had nothing to do with any of the militant groups.
Now, talk to me about this, though, because these attacks, I mean, they're on people that, the U.S. government really wants to kill, and it's pretty precise the way they do this. Do you have a better solution for them to go after these people?
Well, I don't so much have a better solution as I would suggest that they take a lot more care with who they target, because it seems to me in June of last year, they hit a funeral procession on the assumption that a Taliban leader was probably at the funeral, and it turned out he wasn't at the funeral, and neither was any other militant leader. They killed basically no militants in the attack, but they killed 65 civilians.
So you're describing this intelligence, I mean, almost like the game of telephone that we played when we were kids, where you tell somebody one thing and then they tell the next person, and by the time it gets to who it's actually supposed to go to, it's often a very different name or a very different idea. You're saying that this intelligence is pretty unreliable?
Well, it certainly seems to be. Of all the attacks that they've launched, they really haven't killed very many high-profile militant leaders, and a lot of times they'll report a militant leader killed, and it turns out they killed somebody entirely different, and 3 months later the militant leader resurfaces in a different part of Pakistan.
One of the things you say in your article is that the U.S. government, military, they're willing to take credit when they actually do kill somebody that they were going after. But talk to me about their response when you've inquired about all these civilian deaths, hundreds of them.
Well, yeah, they sort of have a default no comment answer to all the drone attacks, but they will acknowledge the occasional drone attack when it does happen to kill somebody, like when they killed Baitullah Masood in August. They acknowledge that attack, but of the 44 attacks that they launched in 2009, they've only officially acknowledged a handful.
All right, Jason Ditz, thank you so much. Jason is a news editor for the online publication antiwar.com. For now, we'll send it back to you in Russia.
Yes.